Hey folks, Mal the Train Shooter back in the studio and back with day 2. Good to be back. Right, off the back of yesterday's video, this vlog project of ours, the response was phenomenal. You guys were posting quicker than I could reply, or even refresh at one point. Yeah, but the comments are literally exactly what I needed, guys. And the amount of people who came out of the woodwork, there were a lot of names I haven't seen in a long time. And I'm talking about names going back to before I even had 1,000 subscribers. So to all of you like dinosaurs who've been here since pretty much the start, you remember, cameras down? That was a giggle, wasn't it? Well, anyway, yeah, lovely to see in the comments. And a whole absolute massive terrain questions for me to get stuck in, and some I can actually use for these articles that I'm thinking about. So yeah, thank you for those. I've definitely got enough to start, so don't need to ask any more terrain questions on this one. Right, okay, what do I need to tell you? Right, obviously, wonderful response. Oh yeah, quick one. To all those people who jumped on Patreon and the few people who sent me PayPals as well, really appreciate it, yeah? Thank you, guys. It's making up for last month and the gap and everything, but I do appreciate it. Yeah, wasn't expecting it, but thank you. Right, right, on the where I am with catching up with things, caught up with the comments on YouTube, stuff like that. I've got to get onto Patreon to answer my messages and sort out the posting of that video on Patreon, and I need to jump onto my Facebook messages and just catch up on a few of those, because quite a few of you have been messaging me on other platforms and stuff like that. So if you haven't had a reply from me, or if you messaged me while I was quiet and sort of distant, you haven't had a reply from me, you'll be getting one in the next couple of days, guys. Whew. Right, as you can see, a definite improvement across the board, to be truthful. Yeah, from the moment I filmed the video, in all honesty, and got home and I got it up on the channel, yeah, the response, absolutely amazing, guys. Yeah, to those few who did dislike the video, not exactly sure what there was to dislike in it, but always got my haters. But I'd say 99.1% likes to dislike ratio says you guys are glad to see me back on the channel. So, now, I was sitting back and thinking about loads of people have made suggestions about things I can do and stuff like that to improve things and give me advice as well as wishing me well. Yeah, and that's great. A few people have said live streams and stuff like that, and I like the idea, but I don't want to overcommit just now. So, let's see if we can get this week through. Yeah, and then what we'll do is we'll look at maybe a Sunday nighter. I'm not saying do it regularly, I'm just saying let's give a live show a go. Yeah, not at the end of this week, but maybe at the end of next week. Yeah, remember, this is all about not putting too much on myself, and whilst all you guys are like, yeah, you know, loads of good ideas, I don't want to pile stuff on myself, but I do miss the live shows, to be truthful. Yeah, and so let's give this week a go. If this week goes well, then we can end with the idea of playing like, we'll do a welcome back Sunday night, and we'll just see how that goes at the end of the week after. Now, I've got this article to write, and with the amount of MDF questions I've been asked, I'm thinking it's probably going to be around MDF terrain, to be truthful, and working with MDF terrain, which is quite something interesting, because it's not something that I went into massive details in the book. And if you didn't know, yeah, I wrote a book. It's there. Yeah, apparently it's really good, so everyone tells me. Yeah, but if you want to find out more about it, there's a link down below, along with everything else, folks. So, that's where I am. Massive. It's been a massive positive, guys. Yeah, you left me a little bit speechless, which is a strange one for me, isn't it? So, what's the battle plan, folks? Well, the battle plan is to carry on doing what we do. Yeah, which is me making my terrain, sharing it with you. We're just changing the format. Yeah, one of the things I realised was that one of the reasons I've been struggling with making my more traditional sort of videos is that terrain videos, you know, unless you're showing a technique or something, if you're doing a piece, then obviously it's got to be filmed over multiple days. Now, as you know, because of the health problems and focus and things going on with loved ones and stuff like that, you know, there can be breaks between those days and I can get a little bit off track. But at the same time, I often have multiple projects going on at the same time. So I'm filming multiple videos over multiple days. And I think that was just not tenable. You know, that complicated things great vastly. But what I did realise is this idea of just doing a video a day and just coming in, doing my train, doing a few hours, you know, doing all my stuff that I need to do, getting myself back into it. But just show you what I'm working on at the moment. And right now, just work on one piece. Yeah, so I'm not juggling anything. I've just got one piece. This is what I've done. This is where I'm at. Yeah, this is where we go. So that's what we're going to do. And so with that, the piece in mention is this. My big Burma build temple. Right. Now in this video, I'm stepping up a bit. 2 cameras. Right, so here we go. Here is my temple. Right. Now, Sarissa Precision Kit went together really nicely, to be truthful. Yeah. So let's take it apart. Now it is all in sub-assemblies at the minute. So you got the roof. Yeah. You got the support beams, which come loose. And then you've got the gating. Now the reason I'm keeping them all separate at the minute is because I can paint them separately and glue them together. Yeah. Secondly, I've got the Buddha here. Yeah, that's an Ainsty Castings Buddha. Yeah, and then my 2 Chinthy dogs, temple dogs. And I don't know whether, should I have them facing inwards? Yeah, or looking out from the stairs, or looking in. I don't know. So, go on. Get your thoughts down in the comments. I'm not sure which would work best. So I've been looking at the kit, and there's a couple of things that occurred to me. Now, obviously, I knocked this base out quite quickly yesterday and threw some brown paint on it so we could get cracked on. Now, obviously, we've got the temple and everything. So if we just give that a little bit of a shuffle, put that on there. Now, we've got the gates around here. And if I put the Buddha in, which is, I think I've got one Buddha which is smaller. So I've got these little metal Buddhas, and I've got the more Asian Buddha. I'll bring them up. Yeah. So I'm not sure whether to go for one of them. Can that slide back? No, that. Right. My idea was to see how far I could push it back to clear up some space in the middle for model placement, but that's not happening. Yeah, because he's too tall as well. So if we put that one in, yeah, takes up a reasonable amount of space. I've got to push it to the back, yeah, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to get any models on. Now you've got these gates, these fences, sorry. They drop in like so. Now I was thinking about these, and one of the things I was thinking is, should I sort of extend them and move them more towards the actual edge of the piece? Okay, and here's where I'm thinking. Here's where I was thinking. It's basically model placement. Yeah, so that if I move them more to the edge of the piece, then I'd have more space to actually place models. But because of the actual positions of the actual beams, yeah, it doesn't actually work out that well if you move them forward. You know, you don't actually gain much model space because there isn't the gap here to sort of fit the base in, unless you come right out to the edge, and I don't want to do that. So I'm thinking of just sticking with it and not complicating it, because I can still get, say, a 3-man support team in there. You know, if they're on bases. I'm not sure about a 60mm, so let's give that a go. So I should be able to get a 60mm in there. I can just get a 60mm in there. So I can get a heavy machine gun at the top of the stairs. Yeah. Now in true style, me being me, yeah. You've got the stairs here. You've got the gate here. Yeah, and the actual bit for the stairs is there. I put the side on the wrong side, and so that's Yeah, where it should have been there. So, bit of clippy, make the stairs fit, because, you know, you can. And that's just going to become a clump foliage indicator. So, definitely we can fit what you call it. We can get a few more troops on there as well. Probably get a 3-man support squad for bolt action in there, so that works. Yeah. Now, one of the things I was looking at is, although it's on sort of like a raised platform, it's actually quite low. And what I mean by this is, if you give a second. Right. And what I mean is, if we compare it to the foreground buildings, which are on stilts because they're jungle buildings, you can see it's actually, you know, it sort of takes the grandeur out of the actual steps and the idea that this is on a raised platform. I mean, even with the dragons, temple dogs, what? Someone will have to tell me in the comments what the proper words are for that. Yeah, but even with these in place, yeah, it's still not that much more impressive than a hut. But when I made this base, the idea was I was going to put quite a bit of foliage around it, you know, dense it up a bit. And it occurs to me that we could actually raise this up a bit, yeah, with a bit of 10mm foam. In which case that would bring that to more like that, yeah. And so that's my battle plan. So that's what I want to get done today. I want to get the foam shaped and all that sort of stuff, get it on there, and then get the base glued down so I can start the actual painting process. So that's my plan for this bit. I don't even know how long I've talked about this, but I think what I'm going to do, yeah, is I'm going to stop the video right now, yeah, rather than just ramble. And then I'll come back with this one and just show you what I've sort of done and where we are, yeah, and then we'll wrap it up, yeah? See you in a sec. I'm just in the process of working on the blue foam, and if you look at it, yeah, you can see I've sort of drawn out my temple shape. I've got my temple dogs, and if you actually look at it, you can see that I've beveled it, but I've put a little dip in there, yeah, and then just put a bit of a bevel all the way around the foam. Yeah, it's a bit harsher at the back, but it's getting covered in filler, so that doesn't matter. But one thing I just want to quickly show you is the difference just a little bit of foam can make. Okay, here we've got our hut on stilts, and we've got our jungle pagoda temple. Now, not that much, you know, when you look at them, it's not like they're screaming out, oh, look, you know, this is way more impressive than this. But with just 10mm foam and just raising it off the ground, yeah, this is what you can do. So if I just drop that on there, drop that on there, drop that in there, yeah, do you see the difference that makes? Just that 10mm, how it's so much more prouder now. Yeah, how it appears to be standing proud. Yeah, and that's all it takes, just a little bit of foam and just raising key little features that you want to make stand out. Yeah, just a little bit up. And, you know, sometimes, you know, I'm limited by the kit, so I raise the ground and make it a little bit more impressive. So there you go. Right, back to me old teaching stuff. Right, I'm going to crack on. I want to get this glued down, get some filler on, get this so tomorrow I can paint this up and start painting things. Yeah, so I'm going to crack on. I'll see you in a minute. So, put the foam on, massive difference, okay? And I've also sort of, as soon as I put the foam on and sort of sorted everything out, I sort of realised that without the gates, it's actually quite a nicer piece. You know, it's more open, just feels better. Yeah, so I think I'm not even going to bother with the gates, because that way I get loads more space for placement. So if you look, all I've done is where the holes where the pegs were supposed to go for the fencing, I've just dropped a little bit of filler on there and just given it a wipe over and wipe with a cloth and just basically filled the holes. Yeah, perhaps I should do that with that, but I'll cover it with some bushes. But we've got the, we've blended everything in with the filler. yeah, my chinthy dogs can go there. We've got a bit of a dip in there, so that's going to be like quite a nice, you know what I mean, heading up towards. And then with that on top, yeah, with a Buddha in there as well. I think that's going to look brilliant. Yeah, so cracking on. The juices are coming back, as they say. It's getting here. I'm not making any grand, what you call it, like, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll do that. But what I will say is I'm definitely going to watch it. Definitely going to be back in as soon as this dries tomorrow. Yeah, start getting paint on it so we can start getting flocked up and that sort of stuff. So I've got to start thinking about the actual dogs and how to paint those up. I've got to think about how to do the Buddha statue. Yeah. In the meantime, I've got a bit of cleaning up to do in Studio 2, the workshop. It's a bit of a tip, but I can do that. Yeah, so I've got to crack on with that. We'll let this dry. In the meantime, guys, once again, thank you. Yeah. I ain't gonna get soppy and all that sort of stuff, but you guys are my motivation for getting back in here. You know, you always put a smile on my face, so jump yourself down in the comments. Comment on anything in this video and that sort of stuff. And obviously, as always, yeah, there's links on the screen. There's links down below. If you're liking what you're seeing, if you're liking me back on the channel and you want to help keep me here, yeah, jump on Patreon, jump on PayPal. Yeah, it does help in the interim. But above all, jump in the comments, guys. And fingers crossed, I'll see you tomorrow, day 3. But this has been take 2. So, I'm getting better at this. Right. That's all. I've completely fluffed it. And that's sort of thrown out that the links are on screen because they won't be on screen now. So, let's try this again, eh? So folks, that's all for today. Links are on screen, and remember, yeah, if you like what I'm doing here and you want to help support me on the channel, then the links are down below, both Patreon and PayPal. They all help while I'm getting myself back on the feet. Yeah, that was better. So, in the meantime, I'll see you soon, yeah? All the best. Ta-da.